My girlfriend said, "It was one kiss. Stop acting betrayed." I said, "Call him." Then I set her keys on the counter, booked her a hotel for one night, and blocked her sister too. By morning, her mother, her coworkers, and the man she chose were all calling me back. Original post: I'm Evan, 34M, and my ex is Kelsey, 30F. We were together for a little over 3 years, engaged for 5 months, and she'd been living in my townhouse in Charlotte for about 6 months. Mortgage in my name, utilities in my name, garage code I paid to install. Every bill that made that place run came out of my checking account. That matters later. For most of our relationship, Kelsey was easy to describe to other people. Pretty, put together, good at making chaos look curated. She worked as an event planner, so she always had a reason to be on her phone, always had some client dinner, vendor mixer, or last-minute venue issue that kept her out late. I trusted her because I had no reason not to, at least that's what I told myself. The shift started after the engagement, small stuff first. She stopped leaving her phone face up, started taking calls in the bathroom with the faucet running. If I asked what time she'd be home, I got told I was monitoring her. If I asked why some guy named Mason kept liking every single photo she posted, I got the classic line, "He's a coworker, don't make it weird." I didn't yell, didn't dig, didn't beg. I watched. That Friday, she told me she was having wine night with 2 coworkers in South End. She kissed me on the cheek on her way out, grabbed her tan coat, and said not to wait up because it might run late. Around 1040 that night, my friend Jonah texted me a photo. Jonah works in commercial leasing. He was at a rooftop place in Uptown with a client. He sent the picture with one line, "Isn't this Kelsey?" It was Kelsey, and it was definitely not wine night. The photo showed her standing near the bar with Mason, same Mason. His hand was low on her back. Her hand was around his neck, and they were kissing like it wasn't new. Not a drunk accidental lean, not some weird camera angle, a real kiss, familiar. I looked at the screen for maybe 10 seconds, then I zoomed in, then I zoomed back out, then I sat my phone on the kitchen counter and just stood there in my own house listening to the refrigerator hum like an idiot. I didn't call her, I texted once, "Come home." No question mark, no accusation, no drama. She came home about 40 minutes later, still in heels, smelling like tequila and expensive perfume. She walked in like she was ready to do the tired fake smile routine. Then she saw my phone on the counter with the picture pulled up. Her whole face changed. Not guilt first, calculation first. She dropped her purse, stared at the photo, and said, "Okay, before I heard this from somebody else, it was one kiss. Stop acting betrayed." That was her opening line. No apology. No panic. No explanation, just irritation that I had found out. I remember picking up her keys from the bowl by the door and setting them on the counter between us. Calm, almost bored. Then I said, "Call him." She blinked at me. "What, call him?" I said again, "since apparently he matters more than the life you had here." That's when the tears started. Fast, convenient, like she could flip them on. She said I was overreacting. Said Mason had been there for her because I'd been emotionally distant lately. Said it wasn't sex. Said I was about to throw away 3 years over one stupid mistake. I told her no. She'd thrown away 3 years for one stupid mistake. Then I handed her a canvas tote bag I'd already filled while she was on the way home. Charger, toothbrush, contact case, makeup wipes, her anxiety meds, a sweatshirt. She looked at the bag like it offended her. I pulled out my phone, booked her a room at a Hyatt 10 minutes away for one night, and emailed her the reservation. $214, non-refundable, cheapest piece I'd ever bought. She laughed at first, like I was doing performance art. Then she realized I was serious. That's when it got louder. She said I couldn't just throw her out. I said I wasn't throwing her out. I was giving her one night somewhere safe and quiet because I didn't want a screaming match in my house. She said this was cruel. I said cheating on your fiancé and then telling him not to feel betrayed was cruel. She tried getting close to me then. Hands on my arm. Soft voice. "Babe, please, don't do this tonight." I stepped back. She asked where she was supposed to go after the hotel. I said, call him. That was the only answer I had left for her. She took the tote bag. She took her purse. She stood there for maybe 5 full seconds like she still thought I'd break and ask her to stay. I didn't. On the way out, she pulled off her ring and dropped it on the counter so hard it bounced once and spun. I let it spin. About 10 minutes later, her sister Brooke called. I declined it. Then came 3 texts from Brooke saying I was being extreme and that couples survive worse. I blocked her. Kelsey's best friend Danny texted next, saying I was humiliating Kelsey over a misunderstanding. Blocked her too. By midnight, I'd boxed up the obvious stuff. Shoes by the entry bench. Hair tools in the bathroom. The framed print she'd hung over my stairs without asking. The ridiculous ceramic lemons she bought for the kitchen because she said they made the room look Mediterranean. I stacked everything neatly in the guest room and locked the door. At 1:12 a.m., Kelsey sent a paragraph from the hotel. I made a mistake. I was drunk. Mason kissed me first. You're embarrassing both of us by acting like this. That line actually made me laugh. Both of us. At 7:30 the next morning, I changed the garage code, canceled the winery weekend I'd booked for our anniversary next month, ate breakfast in complete silence, and realized I felt terrible but not confused. That part mattered. The confusion was gone. Update 1: It's been 4 days, and apparently getting cheated on now makes you customer service for the cheater's feelings. Kelsey moved fast once she realized I wasn't going to chase her. The first tactic was apology. Long texts from unknown numbers, voice notes full of crying, emails with subject lines like "Please read and we need to be adults about this." The second tactic was blame. According to her version, none of this would have happened if I had been more attentive, more affectionate, less serious lately, more understanding of how stressful her job had been. In other words, she cheated because I noticed she was acting like she might cheat. Very efficient system. Brooke called my cousin Tyler, who called me trying to play mediator. Tyler asked if I was really ending an engagement over a drunk bad decision. I texted him the photo and the exact line Kelsey used when she got home. It was 1 kiss. Stop acting betrayed. Tyler replied 30 seconds later with 1 sentence. Never mind, I'm out. That made me laugh harder than it probably should have. The real turning point came from someone I didn't expect. Kelsey's mother, Denise, called me Sunday afternoon. I almost didn't answer, but Denise has always been decent to me. She's one of those women who says exactly what she means and doesn't decorate it. I picked up, and she sounded tired. She said Kelsey told the family I'd kicked her out over dancing too close with a coworker. Denise said that story didn't sit right. I told her the truth. Then I sent her the photo. Then, because I was already done protecting Kelsey from the consequences of her own choices, I forwarded one of Kelsey's texts where she admitted it was a kiss. Denise went silent for about 5 seconds. Then she said, "That's not dancing." No. It wasn't. She apologized to me, not for Kelsey exactly, more like for the whole mess. She also told me something useful. Mason had not been some random one-night lapse. Kelsey had been talking about him for months at family dinners, usually while insisting he was annoying and harmless. Denise said she'd had a bad feeling and ignored it because she wanted to believe her daughter wasn't that kind of woman. Same. A few hours after that call, I got a message request on Instagram from a woman named Alyssa. Alyssa turned out to be Mason's ex, and Alyssa came with receipts, actual screenshots. Timestamps. Hotel confirmations from a work conference in Raleigh, parking garage selfies, deleted message previews she'd recovered from an old tablet, enough evidence to turn 1 kiss into a 4-month affair. 4 months. Not 1 bad decision, not 1 drunk moment, not 1 accidental line crossed. A whole secret relationship built next to mine. The sickest part. There were messages between them making fun of how predictable I was. Mason called me safe. Kelsey replied, "Safe pays the mortgage." That one sat in my chest like a brick. I thanked Alyssa, saved everything, and didn't answer Kelsey at all. Not once. Tuesday morning, she showed up outside my boxing gym wearing my old college hoodie and sitting on the hood of my truck like some indie movie scene. She saw me pull in and stood up like she expected a dramatic reunion. I parked, grabbed my bag, and walked right past her. She followed me halfway to the door, talking fast. Said she wanted to explain. Said the texts looked worse than they were. Said Mason meant nothing. Said she was angry and reckless and scared of marriage and made a selfish choice. Then she said the thing people like her always say when they run out of angles. I'm still the same person. No, I told her. You're really not. I went inside. The front desk guy saw enough on my face to ask if everything was okay. I said yes, but if she came in, please don't let her. He nodded. No drama. That same afternoon, I had a meeting with my regional manager. He told me I was being considered for a promotion into logistics lead for 2 warehouses instead of 1. More responsibility, more money, bigger bonus. I took the job. That night, while Kelsey was probably still composing another essay about accountability that somehow never included actual accountability, I ordered takeout, sat on my own couch, and felt something strange. Peace. Not full peace. Not healed peace. But the first clean breath after a long bad smell. Update 2: it's been just over 3 weeks now, and Kelsey has moved from guilt to escalation. First, she mailed me a handwritten letter on thick cream stationery like she was auditioning for a period drama. I didn't open it. I wrote return to sender and dropped it back in the mailbox. Then she sent flowers to my office. Not roses, white lilies. Which is a wild choice when you're trying to convince your ex-fiancé you didn't kill the relationship on purpose. The card said, "For the man I never should have lied to." The receptionist at my office, Marissa, carried them back to my desk with raised eyebrows. I told her to toss them. She asked if I wanted a photo first for evidence. I said yes. She took one, emailed it to me, and dumped the flowers in the trash room. The next day, Kelsey showed up in the lobby pretending she needed to retrieve mail. She hasn't received mail at my job ever in her life. Security walked her out while she cried loudly enough for half the first floor to hear. That was the point where I paid a local attorney $325 to send a cease and desist, worth every cent. It slowed her down for exactly 4 days. Then came the fake emergency. I got a text from Denise's phone saying Kelsey was stranded on I-77 after a tire blowout and didn't trust anyone else to help her. It looked real for about 2 seconds until I remembered Denise ends every message with punctuation, and this one had none. Also, Denise would rather drag a car with her bare hands than ask me to rescue the daughter who cheated on me. I called Denise directly. She answered on the second ring and said, "My phone was on the kitchen counter while I was gardening." So that was that. Later that night, Denise texted again, this time actually from herself. She wrote, "I'm sorry. She is not listening to anybody." That was the first time I truly understood how alone Kelsey probably was becoming, and I still didn't feel bad enough to let her back in. Somewhere in the middle of all this, I met Paige, not in some dramatic soulmate way, nothing cinematic. She's a 32-year-old accountant who joined Tyler's trivia team one Thursday night because somebody else bailed. Smart, dry sense of humor, no chaos in her voice. We started grabbing coffee after trivia. Then dinner. It was easy. That was the weirdest part. Easy, no mind games, no strategic silence. No making basic kindness feel like a burden. 2 Fridays ago, Paige and I were at a brewery in South End. Low-key place. Patio lights. Basketball game on mute over the bar. We were maybe 40 minutes into a conversation about bad first apartments when I saw Kelsey walking toward our table in the blue dress she wore the night we took engagement photos. Calculated. Again. She stopped right next to us and looked at Paige, then at me. Paige was calm. She had no idea how insane this woman could get. Yet. Kelsey smiled that brittle little smile and said, "So this is why you moved on so fast." I told her to leave. She ignored me and started talking to Paige like they were strangers in line at a grocery store. Asked how long we'd been seeing each other. Asked whether I'd told her I was emotionally unavailable. Asked if she knew I throw women out when they make mistakes. Paige looked at me once and said, "Do you want me to get the manager?" I said no. I stood up and told Kelsey this was over, publicly, privately, legally, emotionally, all of it. I said she needed to walk away before she made things worse. That's when she picked up her wine and threw it, not at me, at Paige. It hit Paige across the shoulder and chest, red wine all down the front of her cream sweater. The whole patio went quiet. Kelsey immediately started crying like she was the victim, said Paige smirked at her, said I was replacing her to punish her, said I betrayed her first by emotionally checking out. Police came. Manager pulled camera footage. Kelsey was issued a trespass warning on the spot. The officer asked if this had been going on for a while. I handed him a folder from my bag, text screenshots, flower card photo, voicemails, cease and desist copy, Denise's text. Mason and Alyssa receipts, everything. His eyebrows went up a little. That Monday I filed for a protective order. I hated doing it. I should say that clearly. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt tired. But tired is not a reason to leave someone dangerous access to your life. Final update: court was this morning. Kelsey showed up in a beige sweater set and small pearl earrings like she was headed to Easter brunch instead of a hearing about her own harassment. Her lawyer tried the soft version, said Kelsey was heartbroken, ashamed, and only wanted closure after a difficult breakup. Closure. That word does so much unpaid labor for people who can't accept consequences. My attorney didn't have to get dramatic. He just handed over the evidence folder, photos, unknown number texts, office flower delivery, lobby incident report, brewery footage summary. Voicemails. The fake stranded on the highway text from Denise's phone. One voicemail in particular where Kelsey said, "I know when you're home because your porch light comes on at the same time every night." The judge repeated that line back out loud. Then the judge looked over at Kelsey and asked why someone who wanted closure was tracking porch lights. Kelsey cried, said she was emotional, said she made bad decisions because she loved me, said Paige was a rebound and I was trying to erase her. The judge did not care. Protective order granted. 2 years. No contact. 500 feet from my home, office, and gym. No third-party contact through friends or family either. Done. When we walked out, Denise was sitting on a bench in the hallway. She wasn't there for Kelsey. She nodded at me once and handed me a small envelope. Inside was the engagement ring. Kelsey had apparently kept it in her glove box the whole time instead of turning it over like an adult. Denise said, quietly, "You didn't deserve any of this." Then she stood up and walked the other direction. That was the last conversation I planned to have with anyone attached to that chapter. As for the fallout, word got around. Event planning is a smaller world than people think. Showing up at offices, bars, and court hearings over your ex is not great for the professional brand. I heard through Tyler that Kelsey lost 2 private clients after missing deadlines during all this. Mason, for his part, disappeared the second things got inconvenient, which feels right. Men like that love affairs. They hate consequences. Paige and I are still seeing each other. Slowly. Normally. She jokes that she got red wine thrown on her before we'd even hit the 3-date mark, so there's nowhere to go but up. Fair point. The promotion came through too. Bigger role. Better salary, more travel but the good kind. Structured, paid, honest. The townhouse feels like mine again. No ceramic lemons, no mystery resentment, no tension every time my phone buzzes, just quiet. Real quiet. Here's what I learned. Betrayal is almost never just the cheating. It's the lying before it, the minimizing after it. The way they look you in the face and try to edit your reality while you're still bleeding from what they did. It's the contempt. That's the part people don't talk about enough. The cheating was awful, but the line that ended us wasn't even the kiss. It was "stop acting betrayed." That was the moment I understood she didn't just want forgiveness. She wanted obedience. She wanted to do damage and still control my reaction to it. She wanted me calm enough to keep paying the mortgage, keep planning the wedding, keep being the safe guy while she acted reckless. No, absolutely not. If somebody betrays you and then gets angry at you for noticing, leave. Don't argue them into honesty. Don't beg them into empathy. Don't audition for the role of person they should have respected the first time. Just leave. And stay gone. If you've ever faced something similar, or if you think I handled it right or wrong, comment below and let me know your opinion. And please subscribe, like, and share this story so more people who need to hear it can find it.